And we are live. We are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, everybody, hold on. Let me make sure that we are on. Check my Facebook.
I need to share as well.
Yes, you do. We're checking, we're sharing, we're doing all that. We hope that you're checking and you're sharing. Hold on. Let's see here.
I gotta find a faster way to do this.
I know, right? Because we spend the first few minutes like, sharing, texting, exactly. And all that good stuff. Well, here we are. We are live. Good morning, everybody. We would like to welcome you. You got to turn your volume down.
Okay.
We would like to welcome you to the VIP Morning Show with Steve and Pasha Carter. And we are so excited because we have such an amazing and special guest with us this morning. But here's what we want to do. We want to start out with a few things. First of all, this is going to be one of the most amazing interviews that we've ever done, and you'll see why in a few minutes. So you want to make sure that you tag some people. You want to make sure that you share this with everybody that you know, because over the next several minutes, you're going to get some information that is going to be absolutely life-changing. Trust me on that, I know. So are we ready to get rolling? Let's share. Hey, Forbes, you can share this to your page too, and you can see it on your pages.
I'm sitting there. What am I doing here?
I love it. She's
I'm sharing. I'm doing all this.
Good morning, Zedric. Good morning, Raj.
All right.
Toronto. We got Toronto on the line.
Excellent.
Oh, Toronto. Hey, Toronto. I love Toronto.
Good morning, Zedric.
Good
morning, Raj. Okay. Somebody.
Is that mine or yours?
We have feedback on one of the cell phones. So
okay. Got a lot of technology.
Let's make sure we got the phones going down. Okay. So everybody listen. I am so excited this morning because.
Wait, real quick, babe. Okay. Let me ask a question with everybody. Can you see a reflection when I put these on, or is that okay? Really quickly.
There's a reflection in your head.
We're getting a survey.
Is it a reflection in my glasses? Because I can see much better with these on.
Everybody, can you see a reflection in his
eyes? Set up my TV studio. You look sexy no matter what you do, baby.
That's why I love Forbes. That's why I love Forbes. Okay. I'm gonna leave my glasses on so that I can see very clearly. I just want to make sure the lights.
Well, I have a new infomercial for glasses, by the way. You're gonna love hearing about this. I
love it. I love it.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, everybody. First of all, let me start by letting you know we're excited to bring these morning shows to you every Thursday morning right here on Facebook, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we're excited to come to you every Thursday live. Myself and my husband, as many of you know, for those of you who don't know us, we have been blessed to build multi-million-dollar businesses, but most importantly, help many other people around the world do the same thing. What we decided recently to do is to bring on many people that we admire, that we respect, and most importantly, that we've done business with in the past. And the first person
and currently,
absolutely. And the young lady I want you to meet this morning is amazing, and she's so special. And many of you have seen her on television. You know her from infomercials. She's the face behind many of the products that you walk into Bed Bath & Beyond and see, or you walk into your Macy's or Targets. You see these amazing products and you have no idea how they got there. I mean, this is the queen of HSN. This is the queen of the pitch. And she has done over $2.5 billion. That's with a B, billion with the B in product sales. But to me, she's one of my dearest friends, and I absolutely love her like a sister. And I'm so excited that she's a part of not just my business world, but most importantly, a part of my life. And that is the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Miss Forbes Riley to the morning show. Good morning, Forbes.
Hey, darling. Actually, I can see your reflection is not a good idea.
Wait, you're breaking up just a little bit, Forbes. What'd you say?
I know. I hear me listen
to there. Now I hear you. You're good.
Technology, man. I got to tell you, this is crazy. You guys can be in Dallas. I can be in St. Pete. Yesterday I was this week alone. I was in Atlanta, New Jersey, and Vegas. I'm so happy to be home. You know,
right.
It's so funny because last night I had a big coaching and I said, you know what? We're going to change the rules. I don't know about you. Did you celebrate Mother's Day last week?
Yes, we did.
Well, you know what? For my family, Mother's Day is happening this Sunday.
Because you were gone?
I was gone. And I said to my kid, I said, let's make a deal. I don't know about Hallmark. I've got no stock in Hallmark. Oh, I probably should, the amount of stuff we buy. But my daughter said something that really struck me. Mom, I don't need one day just to celebrate you. and yet she's 15. I said, you know what? Let's just move it. Let's just make it this weekend. And so for us, I can't wait till this whole weekend where I celebrate with my twins because I haven't seen them in 2 weeks.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, you're an amazing mom, and I know that because I personally know your lovely daughter, McKenna. We've spent some amazing time together. So I think this is a good kickoff of the show because both you and I are moms. We're both business women. And the first question that I really want to ask you is when it comes to you've built an empire, we're going to talk about your story, but what are you teaching your daughter? What are you teaching your children about this business world and entrepreneurship?
All right. So number one, I don't think you teach them anything. I think they teach you, which is, I didn't know that was coming. So I've got twins and I had them 15 years ago. And I grew up, it's funny what you think and what actually happens. I grew up as a dancer and an actress, and I couldn't wait for my little kids to do plays and do theater. And you know what? Neither one of them do any of that. And I remember a moment when my daughter, God bless her, was in dance class and she's, how do I put this? Like really bad. And I was going, that's my kid? I'm like watching, Dancing with the Stars going, that's why I want that little, and for a little while I was so upset. But I took my kids everywhere. And I don't remember who told me this. Maybe it was just my husband at the time. He said, you don't leave them. You scoop them up and you take them with you. They're part of our lives. So often people would say, oh, I can't go here. I've got kids. I'm like, are you kidding me? So my kids traveled everywhere. They had been to China and Italy and Europe. My daughter was 8 years old. I scooped her up for 3 weeks. She and I shot an infomercial in Northern England, got on a train to Paris. We can still share a memory of finding like the best hamburger in Paris. Then we went down to Spain. She was my buddy. I've always traveled with my kids and they've seen the world. Well, what's interesting about McKenna is that she would also go to home shopping with me. And for those of you who may or may not know what that means, when you're on home shopping, you're on live television. They operate 24/7. So I go to the studio at 11 o'clock at night. She'd bring her little blanket. She's like 4 or 5 years old. And she started handing me notes. And I thought this was really cute at the time. Mom, your model's not smiling. I think that you should do this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's so funny. Well, guess what, Pasha? She was actually taking notes for real. This girl has turned out to be one of the best marketers I've ever seen. She's now speaking on stages, has co-written a book called Every Company Needs a Kid. And people hire her to build out their ClickFunnels, their YouTube channel. And she'll sit and talk avatars all day with you. I'm like, wait a second. And I said to her one day, I said, McKenna, she was on camera. I said, how did you get to be so good? And she said, Mom, really? Who do you think I've been watching my whole life?
Right.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Kids are always watching.
They're always watching. We always talk about that. And people always say, well, what do you teach your kids? And you're absolutely right. A lot of times kids are going to do what you do more than what you say anyway. Yeah. So parents that are out there, when you're out there, whether you're pushing forth in your business or if you're quitting every 5 seconds, they're watching everything that you're doing. And that's what starts to happen is they start to become a byproduct of their parents a lot of times. And I'll tell you what, Forbes, did you want to, I know you. No,
I agree with that. I think that, kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for and with technology today, they're able to learn the stuff that they saw us do, and then they're able to do it much, much better. So
that's the thing that I realized, and this is fascinating. So by the way, my son is completely opposite. So his dad is a football player, and my kid is he's 6'3" now, and he's 150 pounds. And I'm praying for him tomorrow because he became quarterback of the high school football team as a freshman. Now, I'm sorry, I put my kids in the pool and said, you guys swim so nobody bumps into you. And all of a sudden he comes home, I'm going, I'm the quarterback. Oh gosh, he wants nothing to do with this whole entrepreneurial thing, but he's a straight A student. And I'm like, dude, you're right. You can't, you've got 4 of them. You're going to notice they're nothing alike. Doesn't matter what you do. They're going to somehow pick up their own thing. But I will tell you, we need to listen to them. They do know this technology much better than we do because it's changing so fast. But think about this. You and I work pretty hard, right? We think we do. I can say my kids were in school this morning at 7 a.m., up at 6 a.m. They have 4 tests every day. They've got 8 classes. They're doing projects and after school activity. We don't work as hard as kids do. And my daughter pointed that out to me. She's like, Mom, you like hang out a lot. I gotta tell you. She's like, I'm in class and people are testing me and judging me. And then I got sports and I've got this. And I thought, maybe I need to take a lesson from my kids. And I want to say that to all of us. Pay a little more attention. We could learn more from them than we realize.
I agree.
Wow. That's so true. I had thought about that. They do have some serious schedules. I take a look at that,
Like the boys last night, they didn't get home until 8:30, 8:45. And from basketball practice, they had practice for 2 hours last night. And this was after a full day at school and had to do homework in between. They like to get a little playtime in. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah. You know, one of the things we were discussing is we've set a goal that we have 4 kids, as you know, because they all call you Aunt Forbes. And our whole goal is to help our children build their own independent $1 million businesses before they turn 18. And they all have different interests. It's the coolest but most interesting thing because they're 4 kids, all raised by the same parents under the same household, but they all like things that are totally different. And what we do as parents is allow them to explore their lane. We never push them in the direction that we feel we want them to go versus the direction that they want to go. And I know for you, what I love is I look at the fact that when you look at Forbes Riley, people see the icon, people see the $2.5 billion spokesperson, but I know you personally. I know the story. I want our audience to know your story. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, how did you get to where you are? Who are you? Who is Forbes Riley?
And how much time do we have this morning? I'll tell you what in a nutshell, and probably one of the best things I did was to start speaking so I could organize my story. And I also preach that you're not your story. It's funny, I now coach at a pretty high level because apparently we hold on to our stories. The best thing that you can do with your story is not keep telling it, but to glean the messages out of it. So I'm going to give you the messages. One, and Miss Charlotte Casey's tuned in from Arizona, and she's got a pretty powerful story. I want to give a shout out to one of my dear friends. But I was raised in Long Island, very hardworking parents, and I did get a lot of good values from that. When I was 8 years old, I had a bad accident. I had a baseball bat hit my nose, and I had a really awkward, goofy nose. I grew up in a time of fast food, so my mom was 260 pounds. I was kind of chunky. I had frizzy hair from Long Island, and I sucked my thumb for a long time, so I had braces. I had teeth that went in 4 different directions. So now you got what was supposed to be kind of a cute little girl in a full set of braces for 8 years. Goofy nose, frizzy hair, and kind of chunky. Not very attractive at all by any normal standards. If Marsha Brady was pretty, I was on the other end of that spectrum, and I knew it. And I was smart, so I was kind of a little social outcast. And I was a very lonely, really weirdly lonely kid, which allows me now to connect to really lonely people and go, look, you can change that. That is a bit of a choice. And went through school. And then when I was about 14, my dad, who was a printer, had a very horrible accident. He slipped and he literally cut off the whole front of his hand in a printing press accident. And he was going to spend my entire high school in the hospital. He had 15 operations over 3 years, and it was just devastating. So financially, we had no money, but we did have a lot of love. I will tell you the thing that I learned from my parents and my sister was that money didn't actually matter. However, I would always look at this house, which was across the street from the hospital, that had these 2 giant chimneys, and it was on half an acre. And I kept thinking to myself, wow, who lives there? What is Christmas like there? What is Halloween like there? And so what does this say to me as an adult entrepreneur? Well, one, I have a pretty powerful why. I didn't come from things, so I appreciate money. I saw what I would like my future to be, and I made that happen. And I was so dogmented about that. I went off to college and, was going to be a lawyer. And a lot of things happened along the way that just kept pointing me. If you listen to that voice, whatever that voice is, whether it comes from above, inside, I don't know where, but you're guided here, I think, to do something. And if you allow that and turn off the voice of your parents and society about what you should do, you're liable to have a very happy, fulfilled life. And I've been very blessed because I've got a very loud voice in my head. And to the point where I even went after college, when I decided I was not going to be a lawyer but be an actress, I ended up living I wanted to know what millionaires and billionaires live like. And so I got a job as a social secretary for the Graces. And I lived in a 15-room apartment in the Upper East Side. And it was kind of embarrassing. I had no idea what I was doing there. I had like a tiny little room off the kitchen, but I was there to serve and learn. And Mrs. Grace, at one point, we were driving somewhere, and she said, you need to get Louis Vuitton out of the trunk. And I said to her, who's in the trunk? Think about it. And she said, you'll learn. And I remember that I said, you know what? I will. I will learn about a world that I don't know, but I know it exists, and I want to be part of that. And we had barons and earls and princes to dinner, and I watched how people behaved, what they were interested in. I learned a lot about myself. I learned what I like and what I don't like. I learned how you always get to treat people. And when you come from nothing, the best thing you can do is be observant, be respectful, and when you finally get there, remember where you came from.
Yes.
And so that's been a very big part of my life. I love when people say, Forbes, you're so nice. I'm like, I wouldn't be any other way, because when I look at anybody who's at any station, when you meet somebody, whether they're they're a waiter or they're cleaning the bath. It doesn't matter to me. I know that person, and I would never, ever think anything less of them. That's a job they're doing. It's a choice they made. It's decisions they tell themselves. And I will tell you that all of that is shiftable. And so I went off and, you know, I tell a couple of stories. I love being this storyteller because one, and if you're watching this, I would get out a pen because some of these things have changed the shape of my life. They sound like magnet stickers, but they really do every day if you reinforce this. But number one, you're the sum of the obstacles you overcome. So if you have a dad who's in the hospital for 3 years and you watch him suffer but go through it as graceful as he could, when the opportunity for me, because we had no money to go to college, to enter this pageant, it was the Miss Teenage America pageant. And the funny thing is, I had a vibe, I had a feeling that if I could win this, I could get the respect of my dad and I could like save my family. Well, my dad's doctor heard all this. He actually offered me to fix my nose. I had a nose job at 15 years old, which was completely unheard of in 1975. But I got a little cute, the hair got cut, and my why was so huge that I remember at a moment, and your daughter's going to experience this because I know both your daughters are actually interested in acting. Well, one of the problems is there's lots of people who are always interested in what you're doing. What separates you at that moment from everybody else? And it's very clear. It's the dream that you have, the vision you have of the success you could have doing this, and then understanding the obstacles and having a really powerful why. You set that up, you can't fail. You have no real competition. It's an interesting way to view life. Then a lot of people in network marketing going, oh, if you get in too late, you can't succeed. No. You are your competition. And the truth is how you do something is another magnet. How you do something is how you do everything.
Yes.
Now, I will tell you, I think about Miss Pasha Carter every day because you, my dear, we've worked together. We've done seminars together. We've done teachings and coachings. And you are probably, and Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, the most organized woman on the planet.
That's pretty true.
Yeah, well, I am not. I am a Taurus. By nature, I'm a bull in a china shop. If I don't leave a hurricane, I'm not happy. And I think about you when I'm in there making a mess out of my closet or my suitcase is not organized and I'm like, I have this thing is, what would Pasha do? What would Pasha do? She'd take a picture and she'd put it and she'd make it organized. So I've learned a lot from you, my darling. Have great mentors is the other thing. Listen to people who've done it before you. My new analogy about that is if there's a road that you see for yourself, you have two choices. You can, like I used to do, get on your hands and knees and crawl and scrape and think if you work hard, you'll get there. Or you could hop in the Steve Carter Ferrari and go zoom and go, how do you do that? Yeah, you want to literally figure out how a person did that, get in the back, sit on their trunk, whatever it is, and fast track it, compress time. We don't have enough time on this planet to keep crawling and doing things the way we had been doing. And so watching a show like this and listening to all the nuggets I'm saying, that you're saying, the guests that you've got, this is such a valuable investment of people's time. I now hang out with, last weekend, I'm on a thing called the Eagles for this thing called Americans Serving Americans. I'm sitting next to Evander Holyfield. I'm sitting next to billionaire from Priceline, Jeff Hoffman. And I on some level, I'm an equal. That's kind of cool because I've sold and pitched products. But I got to tell you, I'm always this sponge. I'm always listening and learning and getting because that never gets to stop. Did I tell you? So, and then, okay, let me just finish the story. So if you're listening and be going, wait, who's Forbes Riley? I've hosted more infomercials. I just hosted another one, 180 infomercials. That's 180 different products from the Jacqueline Power Juicer to the Delete Cleaner to Montel Williams Health Master to George Foreman Grill to Spin Gym to Urban Rebounder Trampoline. I can go on and on and on, 180 different products. Some were successful, some were not. I didn't set out to do this, guys, at all. I just wanted to be an actress. If Julia Roberts would have just gotten out of the way, I would have been fine. That's all I wanted. I wanted to be Miss Congeniality, but I wasn't. And truthfully, I've been in movies and television. I've got a cool resume. And that's all I really wanted to do. But the universe said, you know what, Forbes? And I think this is the message. Being an actress is great. It's very self-serving. And you'd walk a red carpet and people go, wow, she's cute and amazing. But the work that I do now, I think is so important about giving back. I stand on stages around the world. I inspire. I motivate. I get people fit. I have a crazy technique where I go inside your head and I truly get you to understand that the story that you're telling yourself is like a virus on a hard drive. Most of us have a little bit of corruption. Somebody told you that you couldn't, that you were a klutz, that you weren't good enough. And sometimes it's not even a bad thing. I mean, the bad thing is a good portion of this population has been molested made to feel less than. And I deal with that every day, all day. I got to tell you, it's crazy. Well, that is my son calling. You know what? He's calling in the middle of school. And this is a rule that we have. So I'm going to take for 1 second in the middle of this.
Yep.
I love that rule. I love that rule. I share that rule. Well, while she's taking the call for her son, you know, it's funny because remember just last week, Steve, somebody was asking, how do you do it with 4 kids? And I always say, we involve our kids with whatever we do. So if we're doing a live, or if we're doing a meeting, or if we're doing anything, our kids are at the door, and it's like, just come on in. And a lot of times women are trying to figure out, how do I get the kids out? Or how do I find space to just be able to do my business? But in 2018, people appreciate parenting. People appreciate when they're on the phone with you. And if your child comes in, that you pause and you let that child know, I see you, I love you. So a lot of times I think we get so wrapped up in, I want to make sure I'm professional. And being professional is important, but being real, and then people see that you're a mom and a businesswoman, and that you're a dad and a businessman at the same time, that means more to people than anything. That's what I found.
Oh yeah, and people respect the priority. I love the fact that she answered the phone.
Well, and you know what? And he needs something from me at school. Today's the last day of school. He obviously needs some help. And I will tell you, and don't make you cry, but at the end of your life, nobody says, I wish I'd worked one more day. But you do get a moment where you say, oh my gosh, I was there for somebody else. And if you're a mom and you want to get that really big Mother's Day part at the end of your life, which I'm kind of rooting for. So I have a biology book in my room with giraffes on it. If I bring that in today, I'm able to skip Friday. All right.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Make
Gotta
sure
get that biology book there. I'm telling you.
You know what?
If you could do that, all the people that I'm inspiring, if I didn't do this for my kids, you know, what's the point of all of this? And I talk about role models. You know, as much as I love Oprah and a lot of other women out there, I'm constantly looking for a role model of somebody who was a mom. You, my darling, have 4 children, 2 of you. That's almost mind-blowing because of all the personalities that you managed to juggle all that. So I will tell you that you got to have balance. We were talking last night. You also have to have love. And I want to thank you guys too, because I was in a relationship for a very, very long time and sometimes relationships don't work out. Still best friends and great parents, but I'm actually in love right now because I opened a doorway. I had a couple of people in my coaching call, some women who were so busy and, you know, oh yeah, I'll eventually find love. I said, you know what? You might want to rethink that. And you might, and not that you take it for granted, but you've got that. Once you've got that, that's really, if you don't have that, I think a loving partner, I just think that's important. That there's a foundation to you as a human, and like an Egyptian pyramid. If there's some hole missing, it's not as stable as it was. And this is a powerful, painful lesson for me, because I've been operating for a long time, and maybe you know what I'm talking about if you're listening, kind of on autopilot. You know, I needed to get the kids done. I need to get the career. I'll travel all over the world. I got a lot of responsibilities, and I'll put me on the back burner. Now, I always make sure I got massages and I work out, but there was a part of me that was missing. And one day, one of my guys called me and said, hey, you know what? I figured it out. I figured out what's missing from Forbes where I live about 3 or 4 years ago. I'm like, what? He said, love. And I'm like, excuse me? I said, a lot of people love me. I love a lot of people. What are you talking about? He said, no, you know what I mean. And I'm like, I'll get to that, okay? I'll get to that. And then I did, okay, here's a great lesson from my daughter. So I'm doing a business coaching. If you want to have $1 million business, I can get you there. I know you guys have techniques as well, but I have a mindset technique. You guys are much better at the physical and networking and getting products and people. That is definitely your strength. Mine is getting you to see life differently, think differently, self-talk differently. And I don't care what your business is, I can up it. So I'm doing this coaching and my daughter's watching it. Now you gotta remember, my daughter's already made $10,000 on a GoFundMe account to buy a boat, made $17,000 selling my rant calls over Facebook. I mean, she's a little wizard. She just does her thing, right? So she comes up to me and said, Mom, you're a really good coach. I'm like, thank you, baby. She said, no, you're really, really good about so many things, about life, about business. I said, oh, that's so cool. And then she looks at me and says, how come you don't take your own advice?
Oh.
Let me tell you something. I think about that. That nailed me to the wall.
Yeah.
Because I was not, wow. So I sat down with myself. Now, by the way, again, follow your own rules. It would have been better if I'd actually asked for coaching on this, but I was a little nervous that somebody would find out the real story. So I kind of kept that to myself. I said, God, what would it look like if I felt like wore a wedding dress again? And then I laughed for about a half hour. I did. I kept saying, no, this is how bitter I got. Now, listen to this, guys, because you get to a certain point with certain things, your own decision, you think you're right. Because in every belief is the word lie, L-I-E. Excuse me. I don't care what you believe, it's a lie. Good, better, and different. It's your story. It's what you tell yourself, and easily shiftable. That's the other thing that's amazing. All your memories, whatever they are, listen to this, all your memories are not real. What do you mean? I remember that. No, you don't. No, you don't. There's a thing called Rashomon. Rashomon is a thing where three people tell the exact same story, the exact same incident, right?
Right.
It's completely different stories. And now you go back to when you're 4, 5, 7, and 10, and you tell a story. Oh, this story happened. My dad said this about. No. Ever talk to a 4 or 5-year-old? You have a couple of them at home. They're nuts. And you, I know, but you make decisions about your life based on what you think is a memory about something you think that happened.
Right.
Well, guess what? If you shift it and change it, your entire timeline will change. The way you think about everything will and can change. You are not who you think you are. You're certainly not who you think you were.
Wow.
So I know. Just let that settle for a second. And yet people will tell you when you walk up to them, oh, Forbes, I can't spin gym. I'm so weak. I didn't ask you if you were weak. But people will tell you. And it's fascinating when you live in my world with my ears on and you listen to people tell you everything that's wrong. Oh, I could never do that. I don't know. How do you know who you are? Stop telling me some story about who you think you were.
Right.
It's not who you're going to get to be. And that is truly the gap of success.
You know what's ironic about that, Forbes? I was on a prayer call this morning at 6 a.m. and one of my dearest friends, I've known him for over 20 years, he put something in such a clear perspective. He said, if you could talk to your future self, he said, if it was 20 chairs in a row and each of those chairs represented a year, and you could see yourself all the way on that 20th chair, what's the conversation you would have with that person? What are the things that you're going to do and the things that you're going to provide to that person? And I think what you're saying is right on the money, because it aligns with that thought process, because what you're saying is even when you went back to telling the story about how you worked for the family and you're around all these wealthy people, you began to see the future Forbes Riley. And even today, you still see the future Forbes Riley. For just a little while back with the story you're just telling, the thought of wearing a wedding dress was like a joke. Now you're probably starting to see, wow, I can see that happening. And you're having that conversation with that person, whether it's 5 years out, the Forbes Riley that's 10 years out, 20 years out. I just thought it was awesome the way my partner put it. He said, talk to that person now about what you're going to do and tell them what they're going to have based on what you do today.
I'll push it even one step further. I did this on my coaching call last night. And I didn't create this. I just had a chance to hang out with Jay Shetty, who spent a couple of years as a monk, and he's a very, very wise man. And he said, all right, picture yourself on your deathbed right now. What's one thing that you regret not doing? Mm-hmm. What's one thing that you would regret on that day that you didn't do? Wow. Okay. Get that in your head and go do it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I need to do that.
I love that. Yeah, we're going to take that. I'm going to take that. I love that.
And I will tell you something. You can do that exercise every day, because the more you check off on your list, the more you're going to do.
Yep.
And some people are probably thinking, Forbes, well, how do I do it? And my answer is just do it.
Oh my gosh, just do it. You know, it's why I take vacations every summer with my kids. There was a year where my husband then said, we can't afford to go take this trip. And I looked at him and said, baby, we can't afford not to.
Right.
At 17, they're not here anymore. There's a real finite timeline. Let's get going. And with love, I literally would look at wedding pictures and I would just go, don't they realize what a waste of money? And I would have this huge negative conversation in my head. And of course I was right? That's the crazy part. And then one day I didn't look at it. I actually looked at you guys and I got fixated on this. I looked at Giselle Bündchen and Tom Brady. I looked at Cindy Crawford and her husband, Randy Gerber, and I said, I want a power couple. I want to be part of something bigger. And it was a different perspective than I just want to find a guy. I want to be part of something that's pretty spectacular. And you guys were on that list because that's what I wanted, and manifested it based on, like you said, seeing the future. And then I threw in one even better. And because one of my girlfriends had a very handsome husband, and I said, how did you do that? Because we're all into manifesting and vision boards. And she said, I wanted somebody who looked like they walked off a cover of a romance novel. Go to my Facebook. Check it out. Right off the cover of a romance novel.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I met him in Vegas.
Absolutely. So true. So true. And you know, I tell you, one of the most interesting things is, prior to you doing this interview, I put up a post and I asked people what questions did they want to ask you. And the most interesting thing that I got back was the majority of questions that I got were from women that are saying, I'm passionate about what I'm doing, but I'm stuck and I want to quit. What happens when you want to just give up? What do you do? And I think a lot of times, like you talk about, I think women sometimes, or just business people in general, are stuck in who they think they're supposed to be, or doing what they think they're supposed to be doing. And that passion isn't there anymore. And they're on that thing where they're trying to decide, what do I do? Do I keep going? Do I find something different? But they have that fear. And what I've noticed about you is you consistently reinvent yourself. You don't get caught up in who you were 20 years ago or what you did 10 years ago, because you're consistently stepping out and you're not afraid to evolve. Can you address that with the audience?
Well, here's my question. What are you quitting? You know, somebody who wakes up and says, I'm going to go for a gold medal. Let me tell you something. It isn't passion that gets you there. You don't wake up every day feeling great. You got to be kidding myself. You know, by the way, the people who win the gold medal are the ones who keep going when they want to quit. Yeah. That's the only way it is. It's not, I have a great idea, I'm going to go do it. If it didn't work, oh, that's terrible. Bullshit. You know, I'm sorry if I said that, but let me tell you something. We have a wrong concept of this. Figure out what ignites you, what you love to do, and then go do it.
Yep.
And I don't care what the medium is. I don't care, you know, when we talk about even network marketing, I don't care what the product is. It's irrelevant. Do you love getting on calls every night? Do you love connecting with people? Do you love taking meetings? That's what that business is. And if you don't do it. If you're an actress, they're not giving you parts. Go make a movie. See, now there's no reason to quit. And I can't quit. I mean, my hero, Jack LaLanne, at 95 in a wheelchair, was still doing infomercials with me, woke up every morning of his life. What's that word, retire? I met somebody the other day who said he retired. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? What do you do? He's like, oh, well, how can I retire from something that I love so much? There will not be enough days in my life to do all the things that I love. And that is about inspiring and moving forward. And again, you got to lay it out right. I don't think we have this conversation correctly. One, I think you're crazy if you're working for somebody else. And I know I can't say that to everybody. I remember Cher said that. She said, if everybody was a rock star, nobody would be taking tolls on the toll booth. I think that's pretty funny. And nowadays, but now that's interesting, because now there is no toll takers. Now there is nobody working at Walmart. You got to check yourself out. And if you're working for somebody else, you better wise up, because things are changing very fast. And everything that we thought about is shifting at a pace that's bizarre. Most of those jobs won't even be there. So if you're not having multiple streams of income and understanding how to make money for your world, you're missing out. This internet thing is amazing. It's not going anywhere. I don't know where Bitcoin is going. I don't know where. All I know is the best thing you can do right now is to get the mentality out of quitting. You can't quit life.
Yep.
Is hard. I don't know. Digging a ditch is hard. Escaping bombs is hard. Do you live in the middle of Iraq or China? No. Understand what success is. Be grateful every day on a way that's more profound than you would ever imagine. I've got a girlfriend of mine who's stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. And I love her. She's got the biggest smile ever. She taught me the lesson about life. I've got Pedro. Google this on YouTube. Type in Pedro, Pedro and Spin Gym. Okay? So Spin Gym is my fitness product. And by the way, nobody wanted this when I started. I was humiliated on national television. We were the #1 Google search word, and I was made to cry. I woke up the next morning when Tom said, so, what are you going to do now? And I'm like, I'm going to sell Spin Gym. She said, well, nobody wants it. I said, they're wrong. Because they can't all be wrong. And I said, but they are. Where the heck did I get that kind of audacity? Because I believe. I just do. But I also didn't believe blindly. I'm in the fitness industry. I have access to home shopping. I kind of had some things that I thought might work out. And by the way, over and over and over again, they didn't work out. I am the living embodiment of massive failure after failure because I believe so strongly, but I had some people believe strongly and it's not a good belief, if that makes sense. Like they have no basis to believe, oh, I'm just going to be the next Oprah. Well, you have to be on television. And maybe you want to start there, but surround yourself with the right people. You can't do everything. Delegation has got to be king. It really is. Having good partnerships and good relationships. Pick up the phone. And by the way, all those things that we think are like these magnets, your network is your network is your net worth. Yes, it is. I've dedicated my life to connecting to people, to stay connected to people. Many years ago, my ex-husband, he used to work in politics. And he used to say way back then when your database was on a Rolodex, remember Rolodex?
Yep.
Yes.
He said that, I said, he was on the phone. He just looked like he sat around talking to people. I said, what are you doing? He said, that database is a living thing. I'm like, I don't understand. He said, yes, I call people when I don't need them so that when I do, they're there.
I love
I like that.
Somebody needs to write that down.
Yes, that's a lesson right there. That
Call
is so
people
true.
when you don't need them so that when you do, they're there. I like that. They're right there.
I don't want to be used. I don't want to, and that's where network marketing falls flat on its face. Oh my God. I remember many years ago, my brother-in-law called me up and he was barely putting 2 dimes together. He said, hey, I got an opportunity. You want to make $10,000 a month? This is great. I said, what is it? He said, oh, you got to sit down with me. Somehow I ended up sitting down with him and he pitched me Amway, which was fine. Great company. But I'm like, dude, are you making $10,000 a month? And he's like, oh no. Number one, you didn't tell me what it was. You weren't kind of upfront. You used me, and I haven't talked to you outside of that. So even if it is a great opportunity, why would I trust that you're not just using me at that moment?
Yep. Yeah, that's the feeling that he gave you.
So true. That is so true. We always talk about those authentic relationships and getting in and having the right intention. I love that word, intention, because I always say, what is your intention for talking to me? What is your intention for wanting to collaborate? And when people have the right intention, like when you and I first met, we knew immediately from the moment we laid eyes on each other that we were going to be in each other's lives forever. We knew that instantaneously because of our intention. We know that deep down beneath the business suit, beneath the speaking, beneath the coaches, that our intention is to uplift, empower, and change the world and do it together and do it from a space of love. And those are the kind of relationships and people that I enjoy being in business with. And I think a lot of times you're right. People get in a business and they're just spraying and praying and, putting their business card out there because it's all about what can I get from you? What can I get from you? Versus having an amazing product or having an amazing service that is going to change someone's life and focusing on that because your intent is to really help that person. Your intent is to really give versus receive.
Okay. And I love that. I'm reading some of the comments as you guys are talking. You guys, thank you for being so verbal about this. By the way, I need to go back to Pedro for a second. Pedro, because somebody just wrote that, had his arms and legs amputated at 19. The reason I want you to watch the video is whenever I feel like quitting, whenever I feel even an inch of doubt, I put that video on. It's about 1.5 minutes long. He is smiling. He is spin gymming with his hooks. And I got to tell you, your worst day will never, ever, ever be close to his best day. Why do I say that? Because he takes his arms and legs off at night, puts them over there, or somebody does for him. He can't get out of bed to pee. He has no arms and no legs, okay? Now, and he's the smiliest, most amazing man in the world. So I don't care what your day is. It doesn't compare to how he lives his life. Mm-hmm. And I remember that all the time. Somebody else wrote down, have the audacity to believe in yourself. Now, this is challenging. I'm going to tell you, I don't think this happens on your own. I'm going to do a little pitch here because that's what I'm about, getting people to their greatness. I teach a thing called the Forbes Factor because I went to a seminar, guys, when I was 31 years old. I went kicking and screaming because I didn't think, and it changed my life. So I don't care whether it's what I teach or what other people teach. It's not therapy. I'm going to write a book at some point saying Freud and Jung have their head up their ass. You do not need to sit on the couch for 2 years. You need 20 minutes of the right person doing some sort of technique that gets traumas and gets you moving forward. It exists. You can get over anything that's frustrating you. But I now no longer choose to be in business or even teach business because I've got some great things. I mean, I have to pitch on TV live. I've been there for 28 years. Yep. I have to sell between $2,000 and $5,000 a minute, every minute that you're on live television. I have a skill about pitching that I love teaching, but it's very hard to teach a brick wall anything.
Mm.
And I am all about, I mean, even when you guys enroll someone in new network marketing, I got to tell you, they're bringing all, imagine this, you're bringing all your baggage. Okay, make this job, make this different for me. I don't know how you talk to some people.
Yeah. You know, the expression we always use, Forbes, we always say you have to participate in your own rescue. And some people don't want to. They just want you to
hang on. They don't know how. And I'm going to share something. And I'll invite you guys. I have a call tonight. You're welcome to come on it. We don't sell anything. We don't do anything tonight. It's good. If you go and you should type this in, Permission Granted Productions. You get on a free call. I'm doing these Zoom coaching calls where I'll take people and put them in a hot seat and change their life like that because I can. And I love doing this. It's fascinating to me because I don't think that you can. Steve, did you guys, either one of you, and you have kids too, did you have a coach on anything you did?
We had mentors, obviously.
No, I meant like sports coaches.
Yeah.
Yes,
of course.
Absolutely.
So we're friends, right? So a friend loves you the way you are, but a coach loves you way too much to leave you the way you are. So it's somebody who's willing to push you.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. My sons are dealing with that right now. They've got one of the best basketball coaches who doesn't take any crap.
Right. And so to emotionally get out of the stories and stuff that you're telling yourself that are keeping you anchored to your own BS is, I think, wouldn't you much rather work with people who are light and free and airy and open to all the techniques and things that you have to offer? Yeah. And I do think that everybody should go through some sort of program like either what I teach or there's other people out there, but don't kid yourself. You got to this point in life, and if you feel like you're hitting your head against a wall in a passion, I think that's part of the question you were answering. I feel like I want to quit. It's because you're carrying all of the baggage of your life and trying to stuff it into an elevator. It doesn't fit. You're like, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. Yeah, you are. Get rid of some of that. Do, you know, if it was kind of like a giant pie, take a piece of the pie and do the personal stuff and really get some of that in line because it affects how you speak to yourself, how you speak to your business people, how you speak on the internet, how you speak to your kids. All of that stuff that's back here, if you don't move it and fix it, even a little bit, comes with you everywhere you go.
And Forbes, don't you find that one of the main reasons that people are stuck is they're scared, they're afraid, they have fear? No,
I'm going to tell you something.
In their mind.
No. Let me share something with you. I think it's bigger than that. And I do, because that is a result of what's happened to them. That is not what's actually happening. Because fear is false evidence appearing realistic.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
but in their background, and I ask people, this is one of my key questions in life. And if you want, I'll do it with you. But what's your first memory in life? So Steve, do this with me for a second, because you got a lot of people listening to this. What's your first memory in life?
Oh, my first memory. Oh, say I've never done this with you, so this is live. My first memory in life was probably looking over and seeing my twin brother.
I did not know you were a twin.
I am.
He is.
Identical, fraternal?
Fraternal, 6 minutes apart.
Okay, so guys, now you need to listen to this, because in my mind, you're successful. You're in a relationship, and so when you go back to your first memory, and by the way, your first memory, and everyone needs to listen to this, is not real either.
Right.
Your first memory is actually you now accessing what drives your entire hard drive of life. If it's traumatic, watch me change this for somebody. I've changed people's first memories. We've gotten rid of all kind of trauma. We had Larry not long ago, whose first memory was 7 years old, standing there watching his mom get into a yellow cab with her baggage, and she wasn't coming back. And he's screaming, "Don't leave me, don't leave me."
Wow.
His entire life is about him not playing full out in relationships. We actually saved his marriage, because even in his marriage, he made a very firm commitment. He was only going to give 80%. Why? Don't leave me, don't leave me. It did so again, it's not your first memory. It's you telling me basically what's going on with you. So you now look over and see another little boy who's in your life, who's going to be your partner for the rest of your life.
Yep. Built-in best friend.
You guys have a healthy relationship?
Oh, we're tight. Yep.
Best friends.
Dude, so what decision does a little boy make about life from that moment?
Wow.
There's somebody there for me. I'm a partner. I'm part of a team. You were part of a team from the moment you were born, my friend.
Yeah.
Right.
I was built into a best friend. Yeah.
Now, let me share something though, but not everybody who's a twin has that same moment. This is the moment that you chose to create your operating system on. You're sitting next to your best friend. You've got huge teams all over the world, and it doesn't surprise us at all.
Wow.
Fascinating, right? You did it from that moment. Now, if your twin had come over and smacked you in the head with a toy and it hurt your head and you didn't like him, would you be a different person today? The answer is absolutely yes.
Yeah, probably wouldn't trust people. Introvert.
That's it. That's exactly it, because it's about the decision that you make about life. So now here's another magnet. Life happens for you, not to you.
Mm-hmm.
Things will happen to all of us. People will die. We will get hurt. All the same things happen to all of us.
Yeah.
It is not what happens, it's how you deal with it. It's
right.
the decisions that you make about life. You've seen somebody get into a car accident and kind of laugh and go, oh, that was terrible. And, no big deal. I'll take care of it. Or you mother, how dare you? Same accident, right? How you deal with it. But I'm going to tell you that it goes back to this first operating system, how you operate everything. So, Ms. Pasha, what's your first memory?
I would say my first memory would be my mom sitting down with me in Montgomery, Alabama, and talking to me about the role they played in the civil rights movement and what that meant. And that empowered me and stuck with me for many years, because it made me realize I have a sense of duty and responsibility.
Bingo, wait, stop right there. Guys, and if you're listening to this, this is genius, because I can bring on 100 people and not any of them are nearly as positive as the two people I'm talking to right now. And you guys, you should jump on a call and watch, because most people do not have these stories. It is why you are successful. Pasha, listen to the words you just used. It gave me, how old were you in this memory?
I had to be first grade, like about first grade.
You have the word empowerment in your hard drives to the time you're first grade. Duty and responsibility. My girlfriend, not only you are a dutiful wife and an entrepreneur, but you're also taking care of 4 kids and doing it like it's easy.
Yep.
Because look at how your operating system is created.
Right.
I will tell you, if you give me somebody who's hurting, who's stuck, and I'm happy to do this for you guys, and maybe somebody who's on the call right now, have them jump on tonight. I'm happy to put them in a hot seat. If they're hurting or they're stuck, listen to what their first story is. It's a time where they fell down and broke a bone and mom and dad weren't there and they don't trust anymore that no one's ever going to help them. Well, mom and dad were in their life. They had a loving relationship, but they remember that moment because they based their entire life on the fact that you should never trust anybody. I'm not good enough. It's not going to work out. We have the ability, given the way the brain works, to change that memory, to take away traumas, especially so many people have that first memory of being molested. It has crushed so many people where they literally walk around all day with their hard drive saying, you're not enough, you're not good enough, don't let people look at you, don't show them everything, don't do. And that's why they're stuck at that point. So Steve, you see how all that comes out of part of that work. The fear is, how could you not be fearful? How could you guys not be successful?
That is so true. That is
Powerful.
so true, because a lot of the women's events that I've done over the years, we do this session where we just close our eyes and think about all the things that have happened in our past that we have to release, that you just have to let go, and you physically and emotionally are letting go of this stuff. And I've seen women who have let go or attempted to address some things that they'd actually forgotten a lot of times, but it was in their subconscious and it came forth. But when they addressed that, it was like this burden was lifted. They were able to fly. It was like their wings that had been clipped had grown again, and they were able to soar out of that room. And you're so right, because there's so many things in our past that we hold on to either consciously or unconsciously, and we don't even realize it's there. And you're absolutely right. I think what you're doing is powerful and amazing, because not only are you addressing it, but you're helping people get through this so that now they can fly and be who they were born to be.
Yeah, we don't really need any more information. If information was successful, we'd all be thin and rich. You can go on YouTube to learn how to do anything. It's your own closet that you got to clear out. It's an emotional thing that I find I can't work with people until they've let some of that, until they've aligned with what they think they want to do with who they've been. Because it's literally, if you have a beautiful new Mac computer, you spent $6,000 on the RAM and the memory, but you got one code, one little misvirus that jumps in there, you have a whole corrupt system.
Yep.
And that's what I've discovered is my personal truth for helping people in this world. Because once you do that, like you said, you grow those wings again. That's a beautiful analogy. Oh my gosh, you don't even know where you could soar. You have no idea how big you can be, because all of a sudden things shift your belief. You go, wow, oh my gosh, it's like taking the blinders off and seeing life for the first time. And I witnessed that over and over and over again. I've invited you guys because June 2nd through June 8th through 12th, I'm doing one of these, and then again in September. I call it Forbes Factor. And I got to tell you, here's the crazy thing, because if you really want to know the truth, I'd still love to be hanging out with Julia Roberts on the red carpet in the movies. But something says, Forbes, you know what? You got a calling to do this. And so I have been answering that calling and helping people and saving lives. And then I'm happy to give them over to you. You guys go make money and create products and do whatever you're doing, because that's a different part of life. But if you can't do the beginning part, you really can never understand and enjoy your full potential.
I love that. Well, Forbes, you and I are going to be working together and doing some great things. I'll be in Florida. I'm going to call you when we get offline, and we're booking that. So I'm going to be flying in. And can you let everyone know how they can work with us and some of the things that you and I are going to be doing together?
Okay. So the most beautiful part about my life, and I'm still doing it, is that I've dealt with this little video thing my whole life. I was on TV at 16 with Bob Hope in the Miss Teenage America pageant. I've done 180 infomercials, TVs and movies, talk shows. And then, of course, my little spin gym was successful enough that I built my own television studio. Now, here's a crazy thing. Over all these years, the one thing that keeps getting better and better is the concept of video. How you talk through this magical camera to the world. And we both have some crazy tips and tricks and techniques. And I created a thing with Miss Pasha called Crush It on Camera. How do you, literally right through here, make money, talk to the world, do everything that you dream that you want to do? It's easier now, but if you don't have the skills.
Right.
And so, I teach this course called Forbes Factor, which you are welcome to come to. Miss Pasha, I don't have a code for people. If you guys want to participate in this Facebook Live, just say yes, and then DM Miss Pasha and say, hey, I want in, and we'll give you a special discounted code to figure out how to come play with me doing that. But we are going to offer something which is amazing. So can you imagine doing a pitch on TV? That's the thing about home shopping. I mean, HSN and QVC are $9 billion a year companies. So think about what you have to offer. Your product, your service, your idea, even if you just want credibility. Now imagine if I could put you in a talk show setting and get that out on a piece of videotape, so you no longer have to pitch it over and over again. You say, hey, take a listen to what I'm up to. You go to YouTube and you show that piece of video. In fact, I'll do that. I have a piece of video that I show over and over again. I never have to pitch if I don't want to, because the makeup is good, the hair is good. You get your message out, you can market it. Trust me. The beautiful part about video is it lasts forever.
Yes.
And you have it on your, literally you have it on your phone right here. So check this out. So if I went to here and I have a little demo tape of what I do, actually, hang on a second. That's my speaking. I love speaking, by the way. But this pitch video, this is here. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
So that lives forever and ever. But then I said, wait a second. What if I could actually really pitch somebody's thing right now? And I'm going to show this to you. I'm going to show you my studio. And so
it's a beautiful studio.
Well, and it was designed to be beautiful. And it's not in my house. It's actually a 5,000 square foot building. Let's see what we can do here. And we take entrepreneurs. And so you're going to sit on the couch. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
So we're going to put you on that couch. And Pasha and I are going to interview you. Now, that wouldn't be fair if we just did that, right? So we're going to take a day and teach you how to pitch. Let me do one more exercise about how to do this. So, Steve, if I asked you and I know I'm putting you on the spot. Steve, what do you do? We're in a networking meeting. Say, hey, what do you do?
What do I do? Most people would probably say I'm an entrepreneur. Or do you want me to just role play with you? I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay, and you guys have to listen. Everybody who's listening to this feed, just get a little closer. Right. Dude, I don't know anything more about you than I did before I asked you.
Exactly. And that's what
99% of the people.
There's no such thing as an entrepreneur. Right. Entrepreneur is a mindset. Entrepreneur means you like to risk your.
I agree.
No, in fact, that's what I was told. I am the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. There's a big difference. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneurial mindset. But actually, the question's more fun than that. You guys want to make money today? You want to make money today? Here's how you do it. Don't ever answer that question. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a digital marketer, if you're a network marketer, if you're an actor. I don't care what you do. Here's what I care when by the way, when I ask you, anyone asks you, they care, listen to this, what you can do for me. So now, let's hear this question. Hey, Steve, nice to meet you. Hey, what can you do for me? Answer the question.
You know, I've got a lot of contacts I can help you with. I'd like to serve you. So anything that you are doing, I'd love to serve you.
So are you an entrepreneur or somebody who can help serve me? Which guy do I want to enroll with right now?
One who wants to serve you.
Well, and then, by the way, that's not all you have to say.
Yep.
So here's the thing. Next time you hear, what do you do? I want you to filter it so it comes out, what can you do for me?
Yep.
Well, that's very different. So, hey, Steve, nice to meet you. You know what? I have a whole organization of people, and based on what you love to do, I can hook you up. I'm an amazing connector. How can I help you? That's one way to say it. That's not the only way.
Right.
So when you think that way, though, you stop giving people a laundry list of what you do and boring them. And you call this a $101,000 handshake. So when you're sitting on a couch with me and Pasha, and we sit there and we interview you, the day before, we're going to teach you how to pitch what you do so you get a yes. See, I don't like to sell. I don't need, because when you're in sell mode, you start pushing really hard. No. I enroll, I cajole, I excite. I just want you to say yes. And it's a very, very different thing when you, even how you explain what you do. So one of my clients came up to me and said, I'm the ROI guy. I said, I don't know what that means. He said, oh, everybody knows what ROI is. Let me tell you something. Outside of your world, nobody knows whatever your jargon is. They have no idea. There's no such thing as network marketing. Hey, you know what? I'm involved in an amazing skincare product that makes anybody of any age look great instantly, like right under your eyes. Do you want to know more about that? Or I'm in the network marketing company called what? You got to, and you, so I said to him, I said, nobody knows what ROI is. I said, here's how you're going to introduce yourself from now on. Hey, I'm known as the ROI guy. That's return on investment. You give me $3, I give you $10. That's the guy I want to know.
Yep.
So we do that with whatever word, whatever it is that you do, when you can tweak that. I had a friend of mine who said, he said something about airy-fairy. I work with airy-fairy entrepreneurs. Like, what? Oh, yeah, we get into their mindset and we help tweak it. And I was like, what are you doing? How about you have a 6-week course that helps people kind of like when they have writer's block, you've got business block, I unstick you.
Yes.
All of a sudden, you've got a conversation in a way quickly. So when you meet people, bam, I know, all of a sudden we went from solving your issues when you're 3 years old to making money, but this is how I got to where I am. That's how my brain thinks. I'm a little bit of an introvert. If I'm going to, and introverts by definition are better with a lot of people than one person, and we hate small talk. What that means for me is I'm not going to sit around and talk about the weather or your favorite sports team. I'm going to talk about your business, marketing, your family. I'm going to talk about things that matter to me, or I want to talk to you. I don't mean to be rude. I just have a little bit of, that's how my brain works. So I try to make moments matter. You're at a networking event. If you're going to spend your time doing there, how many cards did you collect? How much value did you get? Did you give? And it's a different way of being, but I'll tell you what, it's wildly productive. I come home from every trip with a stack of business cards like this. My assistant's like, what am I supposed to do with these? I'm like, well, first of all, they're not of these. Those are people. Every one of those cards is a human being that I spent time talking to, coaching, investing in, wanting to JV, or I didn't give you their cards. How do I get a stack like that? Do you come home from an event like that every time?
Yeah. It's
oh, wait.
This is so important, and I want everybody to listen to this, because no matter where I go, no matter where I speak on network marketing stages or entrepreneur, it doesn't matter. One of the things that I found is most people say the words, I hate recruiting, or I don't like to network. And I remember that years ago, that was me. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it because somebody years ago, it taught me how to go out and sell. They taught me how to go out and, try to get somebody interested in this thing that I'm doing. And I remember it was about 15, maybe 17 years ago, I was at an amazing training and someone said, similar to what you said, you've got to teach people because everybody is tuned into one radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me?
I love it.
And when you can start talking to them from that perspective, and talking to them about how you can serve them and what's in it for them, then the whole dynamic changes. And I started doing that, and it was easier for me because now that's who I really was. I really wanted to help people. But I just didn't know how to articulate it.
Yep.
So now for the past 17 years, I absolutely love networking. I absolutely love prospecting. I absolutely love meeting people because I go out there with the right intention. And now I'm talking to them and giving people what they are looking for. And that is so important. And most people, they'll be in a company for many years. They're trying to figure out, why is this not working? Why is my product not selling? Why are people not joining me? Because you're not giving them what they want. You're focused on giving them what you want.
Bingo, bingo, bingo.
What you just said ties right into what Forbes' ex-husband said, which is, connecting with people now, even when you don't need them, so that when you do, they're there. Mm-hmm. Because, Pasha, I mean, I live with you every single day. I'm with you every second of the day, and which is awesome. But,
I'm glad you added that.
But I see Pasha doing that every day, and that's what she and I have just grown to become, those people where if someone is looking for something, our first question to them, Forbes, is, what is it you want to do, or what do you need? Because once we can identify what they need, our goal is to help them achieve that and serve them to do that. And we do it without the expectation of, well, how much money will we make on that? Because we understand the bigger picture, that when you give, like your ex-husband said, it'll automatically come back when you're in need. And so I that's how we live our lives. And I know, Forbes, that's how you live your life. And that's the reason that so many people follow you, is because they know if they work with you, they already know that they're going to accomplish the things that they want, or they're going to learn how to do it. And then they have to make the decision as to whether or not they're going to, but they're going to get what they need when they work with individuals like us.
Because how do you define success? How many people you sold that day?
Right.
It doesn't come down to that. And by the way, I'm going to give a little shout out to Miss Livia Caudell, who's a dear friend of mine who's on.
Yeah. Hey, Livy. We love Livy.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, Livy's name, I work with people's names as well, because I always say, hey, my name is Forbes. Forbes Riley. Forbes is in the magazine. So I teach you, Miss Pasha, like Kasha in your pocket. Anytime you want it, I'm there. I know, if you can play with your name, but Livia was one of the funniest ones. She walked in, what can you do with Livia? And I said, well, it's kind of like Olivia, like Olivia Newton-John, except without the O, sometimes.
Right.
We've never forgotten that one. That one was too funny, but now we just talk about living it up. But
right. I was going to say, Livia could be, I can help you Livia your life. Right? Livia your best life.
People think sometimes this is goofy, but I will tell you, we forget how to play.
Yeah.
Best thing you can do in life.
Give me one for Steve. Come on, give me one.
Steve, like I don't. By the way, I have to be very careful when I do one. Steve. Is there a famous Steve that you know that you liked?
Jobs.
Oh well, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, but you know what? So that's interesting. Hey, so my name is Steve. Kind of like Steve Jobs, except I help people get very successful without ever having a job.
Oh, I like that. That's Forbes Riley.
That is why she's Forbes Riley, ladies and gentlemen. Look,
folks, let me tell you something. That was a mic drop right there.
That was good. That was good even for me. That was good.
Steve.
Oh, we got to give some hearts, guys. I got to see the hearts flying on that one. I got to see the hearts flying. My girl.
I'm so proud of myself right now. That is so good.
Hey, Forbes, that's what I'm going to say now moving forward. Hey, I'm Steve, as in Steve Jobs, except I show you how to not have a job. I love that.
That's powerful. Wait do you see one of my guys, his name is Jaden Gross. Jaden Gross is a huge digital marketer. And he called me and said, Forbes, I know you call your thing the $100,000 handshake. I'm going to write you a check for $100,000. I said, why? He said, because it works. He said, I have $1 million contract because I did exactly what you told me. Hey, my name is Jaden Gross. I'm in digital marketing. I can help you gross more than you've ever made before, or something to that effect.
Wow. That's powerful.
It works.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, it is because we're kids. I think like a kid. I just do. I'm like this little 8-year-old. That's how I market. That's how I talk about marketing. I don't like big words. I like big pictures. I like getting people to take action in a very playful, crazy, fun way. And when you play, watch your kids. Mm-hmm. To play is actually what we really want. We don't want to go to work.
Right.
I have a new guy in my life who has made billions. Okay, he was part of the team that developed the Facebook algorithms, and so he never needs to work again. In fact, he had 2 foundations that he started, and he discovered that giving away money is harder than you would imagine. And he got a little disenfranchised with charities at that level because a lot of it, administrators were taking the money, it wasn't going where it was needed. And I tried to figure out, what would you do truly if you were him? If you woke up today and you just never had to work, in fact, working would be silly, you never had to work again, what would you do? What would you guys do?
Oh, that was a question. I was so into the story.
Right, I'm listening.
I was like, I don't know.
I know the answer. My answer is I would do the same thing I'm doing now.
Bingo. That's the right answer.
But that's because you love what you do.
I know.
Right. I don't do this for the money, and I never have. I mean, I've been making money since I was in my 20s. I made my first million when I was in my 20s because I didn't focus on that. And when you do, you lose.
Yes.
Focus on. I can remember at some point I think I had a job per hour, and I was all day just calculate $10 an hour, and then you take the tax. I'm like, this isn't. Why am I working? Why am I spending my time doing this?
Yeah.
And I realized that you need to play.
Yes.
We're generating. So what are we doing right now? So we've I own a studio. We're telling people that if you come down and play with us, that I can increase your bottom line, I can increase your sales and get your message out to the world in the most amazing fashion. So I want to say on the left, who here wants to say yes? Who here will say, what, if I could do that, if I could put my skill in front of an amazing interviewer, tell my story, tell what I'm passionate about my why, and then close it down with what we call a call to action. So The call to action on this call, by the way, what are we all doing here today? One, we got inspired. We heard some great nuggets, right? We got to hang out with some people, awesome comments. But then what's the next step? Well, it is about doing business, because at the end of business, it's kind of funny. People pay you to do what you love. But if you're not getting your message out, you're not articulating it, you're carrying too much baggage, you cannot be successful and you can't be happy. Well, that's all we want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Define what success is, go be happy. So there is an offer at the end of this call, right? How can we enroll you into your life? So one, and I'll write it down here, I'll list it later. You can come play with me in Florida. I think Miss Pasha, if she can, and she's got a busy life and 4 kids.
She's coming. She's coming.
To do 2 days of pitch mastery. What does that mean? Articulating what you do, being able to get people on your team, enroll them quickly. I love this skill. I don't care what the product is. You give me the product, I'll give you the pitch better than you've ever had it before. But I don't need to give it to you like teaching somebody to fish. I'm not going to give you the fish. I'm going to teach you how to do that anytime, anywhere. And when you can truly do this in a way you've never done it before, life gets more fun. People just get on your boat. People want to help you. People want to give you things. It's a crazy life.
Yes.
And then you go through 3 days of Forbes Factor and you clear out the stuff that is holding you back, that if you do not clear out, you will die with that same stuff. And it breaks my heart to see people who are so convinced that they know who they are, that they're never going to be successful. Their dad did this, their mother did that. You know what? It's all changeable. And it's magical how it changes.
I want the listeners to really understand the power of that. If these individuals decide that they're going to come spend 2 days with you and Pasha in Florida, not only are they going to learn how to pitch it whenever they want, they'll be equipped to do it wherever they go, but they'll also have that recording like you just showed, to where it's available 24/7 in video form.
Well, now hang on. There's a couple of steps to this. So what we're going to do with Pasha and I is not going to happen in June. So one is that course that I teach. What Ms. Pasha and I are doing, we're coming up with a date because it's a little hard to intersect. So if you're interested in this, if exactly what Steve just said, if you want to take your pitch and learn how to do this in 2 days and leave with a videotape, we're going to come up with a date to do this.
Got it.
Yes.
That works because we're coming into summer. We want to make sure. And we only want, here's the other thing, there's a limit. There's only 10 people in the room. We can't do it with more. So you make that commitment and say, look, I want to be there. This is one-on-one. And I know Miss Livia just commented, if you could be in the room with 2 people who've grossed well over, if you put our incomes together, maybe $3 or $4 billion. Yeah, I got to tell you, this is what I do for a living. And I also, and you do too, Miss Pasha, have a Rolodex of people or people. When you know me and you're in my world, you have access to all kinds of things. So it's funny. I just got to speak in front of 9,000 people live at an event in Las Vegas. 9,000 human beings. A lot of them paid me between $1,000 to $20,000 to come spend time with me. So by the way, if you're going to do one-on-one with me, yeah, we're going to make it both worth our while. Tony Robbins charges $1 million a year to hang out with him. Why does he do that? Because if you could 10x your income, get there. Listen to what I said. If you could easily 10x your income, it's worth investing in you. So, but not everybody can do that, right? So there's probably a portion of the audience, I could never do that, right? Well, there's a guy who reached out through the mist and the mire, and he did what I told him to do. And this is not for everybody, but this is what Reese did. Reese found him. I needed some help. I was actually moving some things from a storage container in Vegas, and he got wind of this somehow because he wanted to meet Forbes Riley more than anything. He wanted to get the coaching, but he's retired military, didn't know how to do it. So he just said, how do I serve? And somehow he showed up literally in front of me, and we're all on our hands and knees. We're loading boxes. We're doing whatever we're doing for half a day. He brought his son. And if you're around me, I don't stop coaching. I coach all day long. That's just that's how I'm wired. Next thing I know, I needed a car to go somewhere. He said, I'll just volunteer. I'll drive you. Now, he had a little bit of a motive. He just wanted to know more, be more, do more, right? So what did he do? He didn't ask for more. He gave more. I happened to be going to see somebody who charges even more than I do, who was this man's idol. I was having a private one-on-one meeting with Les Brown. Reese got to go along with me. He jumped out of 9,000 people to go to a personal private meeting with somebody that he would have walked over hot coals to meet, and it happened in 2 days. He then just showed up at another event that I was at, and you know what? I did a one-on-one hot seat in front of him, and this man is on fire. Why? Because he said, you know what? I'm not going to let anything stop me.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know. And I feel honored to know him that of 9,000 people, he was the one who did that. And everyone had that same opportunity. And there was another woman named Yvonne who also just jumped out. Here's how you do it. When you want something, if you come to this idea of giving, I remember I did a speech not long ago. I was mobbed. Have you ever done that? Lots of people want to talk to. Everybody wanted to hand me their book. I'm standing like by the elevator at this point. The line is like 10 deep, and I'm feeling a little bit like the bride at your wedding going, I don't know who to talk to first because there's so many people in my face. And I love doing magic tricks. I did one on stage. And somehow this guy whispers, he gets a little close to my ear, and he says, hey, I saw your magic tricks. Your dad, who's been gone for 18 years, and I mentioned in my speech, he said, your dad would be proud of you. And all of a sudden, all those people faded away into just a blur. And I looked at this guy, and he said, but I'm a corporate magician, and I'd love to help you because your magic could be just a little bit better.
He got your attention.
Then he said, I'd like to, my wife flies for Delta. I'll fly down to you on my own dime just to teach you. Would that be okay?
Oh,
That's fantastic.
wow.
You want to hear the crazy part? He got a $20,000 2-day coaching from me because his packaging and his marketing was so bad. So he gave me what I wanted, and I gave him everything he needed.
Wow.
So if you're listening to this and you just had all these stumbling blocks, you don't even know how much it costs, how to get there, what it is, I'm going to tell you. Just imagine right now, what does it feel like to 10x whatever you're doing? What does it feel like next year to look at your income tax statement and go, whoa, there's another zero there? That's what I'm committed to doing.
Yes.
Because it's easy to do, but you don't know how on your own. And I know that. I didn't. And why would you?
Yep. Well, I tell you what, Forbes, this has just been, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join us, for taking the time to just come on here and pour your heart into everybody that's listening, because a lot of times you do an interview and people just talk business, business, business. You went deep, you went there for our listeners. And I think not only did they see your business side, but most importantly, they felt your heart. So that's why I'm so excited. So for those of you that are ready, and again, those 10 individuals that want to join us in Florida, inbox me. I will get you the information. It's going to be amazing. And also stay tuned, because Forbes and I are going to be doing some amazing things with young entrepreneurs. So for those of you that know kids, that have kids, that are ready to get into that space, Forbes and Kevin Harrington are doing some special things with kids on an upcoming show. I don't know if you're able to talk about that yet, but it's going to be big. And trust me, as soon as we can talk about it, I'll be the first to let you know. But I'm telling you, there's some big things that are going on. I'm writing a book. Forbes is a part of that. For children that are up and coming entrepreneurs and just in that space of leadership. So you guys, this is just the beginning. This right here is just the beginning. If you want to partner with us, work with us, be a part of our inner circle, get in touch with me. Forbes, I love you. I love you. I love you. My sister from another mister. And thank you so much for joining.
Hey, I do have one more thing I want to leave you guys with. If you have I'm part of a company with Evander and Jeff that is actually funding entrepreneurs, and it's free for you to get involved. And I think I'll offer this out to you guys too. If you guys want to type in www.asafunding.com, yeah. I need to connect the both of you with this company. But what they're doing is that we're listening every month to ideas. We just funded a kid from college who kind of created an Uber system to go home. You know how when you want to go from like college home, like if you're in Ohio State and you want to go back to LA, that's
right.
An Uber ride. So he and his team, he's 22, came up with an app to which shares rides. So look, I want to go home to my parents in California and be going that way. It gives you a push notification, whatever it is. We funded him to the tune of $200,000. So go to ASA Funding if you've got a product or service that you'd like to pitch. This is a pretty outstanding way to do it. I'll introduce you to Mr. David Ashby, who put this thing together. It's extraordinary. So yeah. I'm very proud to be a part of that. There is no money required to put your idea forth to get it screened. And that's pretty extraordinary.
I was going to say that. Yeah, because even if it was, it would be worth it. But the fact that it isn't,
absolutely. Yeah. ASA stands for Americans Serving Americans. And this is an amazing company that's helping entrepreneurs. They're raising money and giving it to entrepreneurs. And then one of them gets assigned an eagle, whether it's myself or Jeff Hoffman or Evander, to help this happen. So excited about that. And what Pastor did just talk about is Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank and I are doing a TV series in Dallas later later next month, I think.
Yes.
If you're in Dallas, again, inbox Passion. I've got there's some beautiful comments on this side. I do want to address another comment that I've been getting a lot lately. You know, I did not go to Landmark Forum, although apparently what I teach is similar to some of their concepts. I got to tell you, this is the craziest thing, guys. But there's a download from somewhere else. The work that I've been doing is crazy from the heart. I see things for people, and it's getting more and more profound. I see where you can go. I see how you need to get there. I do what I do. And lately I've had people just crying in my arms. And it's the funniest thing. I don't quite even know where to take all this because it's a little overwhelming, but I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to not only serve, but to let this gift that I do have wash over other people. So do me a favor. Stop being stuck. Stop thinking and believing that you're less than, because you are enough. You may not be thin enough or rich enough or pretty enough. But if that's true, then today you must be enough because you're here. I'm not going to be more than enough when I'm 5 pounds lighter. I'm probably never going to get any younger or prettier. This is it. And so take ownership of what you got, what God gave you, and really step up and step into it and say, you know what, this is what I've been given. How do I make the most of this? How do I serve the best with what I've got? And stop wallowing in the stuff that's just don't waste anybody's time. And don't waste the precious gift that you've been given. All of this, it's here for a reason. My advice is to use it.
Yes.
Powerful.
I love it.
Powerful.
I love it. Thank you so much, Forbes. We love you. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed another edition of the VIP Morning Show with Steve and Pasha. Content. And I must say that take the information, use the information, and get you a spin gym, because I absolutely love my spin gym because I get to go everywhere with it.
Forbes, I cannot be more honest that I did not have this on my desk because you were on today.
Yes.
This is on my desk because right here when I'm sitting here doing work, which I do a lot of work right here, and I got the cool color.
Look at that. Look, he's got
I got the blue one. So, and this is not because Forbes is on today's show. This is on my desk. So I want you all to understand that we walk the walk.
Yes.
And we walk our talk.
The coolest thing is if you jump on my call tonight, by the way, you will see everybody in the little Zoom window. We all do this.
Do it right. I love it.
And then we end every call with this, and every seminar needs to be with this. And I'm not kidding. Why would you sit in a room for hour after hour, all the trainings that we do, and not have this? Keep your energy, keep your spirits up. It's why I smile. It's why I look sexy. Can I say that?
You can say that.
But I'll tell you what, it is one of those things that's fun. You know what? I love you guys. We could probably talk all day.
I know. Yes. Love you. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey guys, listen, last thing on the way out, for those of you that really want to stay connected with our network and you want to be in touch with everything that we're doing and not miss anything, text the word VIP network to 484848. All one word, VIP network, and you'll be a part of the VIP network.
Yes.
All right, guys. Love you.
All right.
Thank you, Forbes. Love you.
All right. Love you.